A very warm welcome to all our listeners once again, and welcome to Green World Group's YouTube channel, where we discuss about a variety of health and safety topics. So today in this video we are going to discuss about HAZOP audit, which is a systematic approach to process safety. So in this tutorial we will understand what a HAZOP audit is and why it's important and how to conduct one step by step. I'm not going to cover in detail about this particular topic. It's an informative video. Before we start, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so, and also don't forget to click the bell icon to receive more updates on our new videos which we upload on a regular basis. So if you click the bell icon, you would get notifications on a regular basis. So because the reason is that we upload videos on a weekly basis. So we do videos on multiple languages. So stay tuned so that you get informations on all those videos on a regular one. So let's get started. So HAZOP audit. Introduction to HAZOP. What does HAZOP stands for? So HAZOP stands for Hazard and Operability Studies. So it is a structured and systematic technique used in the process hazard analysis, or commonly or known as PHA. So this method is especially useful during the design phase of a system, and it continues to be beneficial throughout the entire operation. So the core objective of HAZOP is to identify deviations from its intent design, basically where situations where the process might not work as planned. So once these deviations are identified, we analyze their associated risk to ensure a safe and reliable operating systems are in place or not. In the next slide, we will discuss about the purpose of a HAZOP audit. So now let's look what is the purpose of a HAZOP audit in detail. Main purpose of a HAZOP audit is to detect all potential hazards and any any operability issues in a given process. So this is in just about spotting problems, but it's about strengthening the safety and reliability of the operation also. Now, throughout this particular audit, we ensure compliance with key standards like OSHA, COMA, and ISO 45001. Now, when I said I have only referred to these three, but there are many other also. So by keeping all this in mind, by conducting a proactive assessments, organizations actually can prevent incidents before they occur and maintain control on their safety performance. So I have mentioned one particular term called COMA. So once again, I am saying that these are not just one standard. There are multiple standards based on each and every region where we actually operate. There can be some local rules and regulations which also needs to be considered. So one such term which I have mentioned is COMA, C-O-M-A-H, which you see on the slide. Now what is this? COMA is a regulation, and it stands for control of major accident hazards. Now when we say that, or we can say that COMA regulations aim to reduce the risk of major accidents, where when we talk about process safety, we are talking about use of toxic chemicals, toxic substances, now flammable materials of course, or even explosive substances, and to ensure to limit the consequences of such accidents if they do occur. That's all about COMA regulations, but there are detailed if you go behind this particular regulation, there are a lot of information so that we may discuss at a later stage in a different video. I'll try to see how I can take up a separate video on this particular topic. Now let's see the procedures of a HAZOP audit. So for the same purpose, I have divided all those 6 points into two parts, part 1 and part 2. We will go to part 1 now. So part 1, HAZOP audit procedure. So as I said earlier, I have divided the 6 steps into 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. Now this is not the exact way, but for your information to structure this particular video, I have put this information into 2 parts. So part 1, step 1 is all about preparation. First, we have to define the scope and objective of the audit. Like any other audits that we do, we need to ensure that we have a scope as well as an objective of that particular audit. So what we do is that we collect all the necessary documents such as piping and instrumentation diagrams, which we commonly call it as P&IDs. Then we also do have process flow diagrams, which is a PFDs, and any other relevant process data. So the audit team is then formed, which comprises of a team of members from relevant functions, and then the sections are scheduled, and then all the necessary documents are being prepared. The second point is about node identification. What is called node identification? Now, in order to do this HAZOP process, what we normally do is all the processes are divided into logical sections, which we commonly refer to as nodes. So each node typically corresponds to a piece of equipment or even a step in a particular process, we can say. So this will actually help in organizing the audit. And again, what are these nodes, how this has been converted, will be carefully taught to you on a detailed HAZOP training. Now the third important part is use of gate words. In HAZOP study, we apply standard gate words like more, less, no, reverse to specify certain process parameters like pressure, temperature, then flow, etc., etc. So this will actually help us to identify how the processes may deviate from its design intent. Say for example, what happens if the flow rate of a particular motor is more, or what happens if it is less. Likewise, that's how we normally does this. Now let's go to part 2. Now part 2, we have the fourth step, which is called deviation analysis. Now what is called a deviation analysis? For each deviation identified, using the gate words, we determine its causes and potential consequences. We also check what safeguards are currently in place and assess both the severity and likelihood of each risk. That's what we do in a deviation analysis. Then comes the fifth step, which is about recommendations. After we identify all the problems and issues, we have to suggest recommendations also. Based on our findings, we suggest new or sometimes even improved control measures. So these are prioritized according to the risk level, where high risk issues are addressed first. We have high, medium and low, where high risk are always addressed first. And the last part is documentation. Finally, after doing all these studies, everything has to be recorded. Findings, team discussions, then recommendations and responsibilities. Responsibilities means whatever suggestions that we have suggested has to be done by some responsible people. So who all will be those responsible people, or everything we will record it. So due dates are also assigned, and a formal HAZOP audit report is generated, which will be handed over to the team. So this document serves as the official record of the audit. So these are the 6 important points about the process of conducting a particular HAZOP audit. Now the next part that we are going to see is when to conduct a HAZOP audit. So the next part, as I said earlier, is when to conduct a HAZOP audit. So a HAZOP audit, we can say it's not a one-time task. It's a regular as well as a situational requirement. So when? So I would say it should be conducted, not I would say, it is actually. It is conducted during the design and pre-startup stages of a particular project or a process itself, to ensure the safety is built in from beginning. It's also necessary after any major process modifications. So when in process industries, all these process modifications, we call it as MOC, or otherwise known as management of change, which again for management of change I will definitely do a separate video to understand what is called an MOC, which stay tuned and you will definitely get to know about once that video is being uploaded. Then in addition, HAZOP audits also should be scheduled on a periodic basis, which I would say about once in every 5 years. And now please also understand that certain countries may have a different set of regulations, so where this duration can be less or sometimes even higher, but 5 years is a good one or a suggested one. So we also conduct a HAZOP following an incident or a major near miss or an incident or something or accident to help understand what went wrong and how to prevent it. So these are the areas where, or these are the situations where we have to conduct a HAZOP audit. Next one we will see is the benefits of a HAZOP audit. What are the benefits of conducting a HAZOP audit? So HAZOP audit comes with several benefits. One is that it is, as I said on the first slide, it is a structured way to identify the hazards that might otherwise be missed on a particular process or a particular process in a process industry. So these audits actually enhance the understanding of the process among team members and foster a better collaboration. So they can actually help to dictate design and any kind of operational flaws very early before they can actually lead to an accident. And HAZOP also improves the emergency preparedness by identifying what could go wrong and how to address it. So if we do a HAZOP audit, we will clearly mention like what are those emergencies that can happen and how to tackle it. We have a separate emergency procedures, everything being made. And of course, it helps in staying compliant with all the relevant national as well as international rules and regulations, if any. You must remember that previous slide I was mentioning something about 45,000 and comma regulations, etc., etc. That's what it is. So as I said once again, there can be several local rules and international rules and regulations that every process industries may have to follow. Then comes now the important one, which is the challenges. Now till now we have been speaking about a lot of good things about HAZOP processes, but everything comes up with certain challenges also. Likewise, despite its strength of a HAZOP study, this also has a certain challenges in it. The one of them is it is both in resource wise and time sensitive wise. That's one challenge. The thing is that the people, those who are involved in HAZOP audit, are costly. Something in the tune of, I would say, about $3,000 to $4,000 per day. So when I say about that, that's also a very lucrative field where if you can become a HAZOP chairman and all, you can earn big. So to have a qualification in HAZOP studies and all is always a good thing in your career. And of course, coming back to the topic, for conducting a particular HAZOP study, we require a lot of competent manpower from various streams within that particular process industry. And as I said earlier, it requires an experienced facilitator and a focused and a knowledgeable team, which I said earlier. So if the scope is not clearly defined, then there are risks of sometimes over recommended actions that are truly not necessary. So that also needs to be considered. Then perhaps the most most importantly, the effectiveness of a HAZOP always depends on how well the recommended actions are being followed up by implementing it on the right time. So there are certain responsibilities being assigned. So a HAZOP will not be, a HAZOP study won't be success unless and until you properly implement those into your process industry or your company or whatever it is. So finally, conclusion. So to summarize, HAZOP is a crucial tool in managing process safety risk. So mainly it focuses on identifying and analyzing the deviations from the design intent, which could actually lead to a unsafe condition or any kind of a process failures. So for a HAZOP audit to be successful, it must be conducted in a structured way and all findings must be well documented. And I said earlier, it should require a team of competent members who has a sufficient experience in the same. And that's all about HAZOP, I would say. So it's a very short video. To get more details about HAZOP, stay tuned, and you can always get in touch with one of our team members, where we have our own HAZOP courses and all, 5 days, 3 days courses. And how to become a HAZOP chairman and all, I'll definitely do a separate video on this, and we'll upload it by next week or the subsequent week. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe as well as hit the bell icon to get more videos about this. So the next video, I will definitely, I'm promising some about management of change, as well as how to become a HAZOP chairman. I'll shortly do that and will upload. So till that time, take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.